Meeting's called to order. Stand for pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And he's excused. Last I spoke to Matt, he's supposed to be here, so I won't give up on him quite yet.
Mayor, we need to make an addition to the agenda, as I noted to you, an update from Iola, the personal appearance after the consent agenda. Not here at the moment, but maybe she can show up in the next minute or so. But that will be an addition to the agenda. And one more thing, the library asked to be pushed back to the meeting on the 27th. It'll take that long, we're going to present first to that. So we'll do that on the 27th.
We need that with a motion.
Just approve the agenda as written.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as amended with Matt's suggestions.
Motion made and seconded to approve the agenda as changed. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, public comments. Anybody wish to make comments on any topic not on the, that's Donna?
I'll tell you, I thought the splash park was good, but I think it's better than good. And I'm really thrilled about it, and thank you guys for helping.
Donna. Anyone else, anything not on the agenda? Consent agenda. Questions, comments?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Hilda here, she's not here, so.
You can do the sewer vac truck if you want to. You can go back there if you want to.
Pardon?
Do the sewer vac truck, you bid.
Yeah. Moving on to new business, sanitary sewer.
She said I couldn't hear you very well.
Sorry.
Anna, Terry, you can see it.
How you doing?
Good.
We actually sent Sourcewell bids out to renew or, I guess, purchase a new jet rotor back truck. So I've only got 2 bids. I got a 5 and a 3 yard bid. We're scaling the truck down. We don't really need the size we had last time. First off, it can't fit in some of the yards we got to go into, let alone some of the alleys where you're rubbing roofs of garages when you go down it. But we've been setting money back for quite a few years to replace this, and I believe the one we got is 23 years old, and the hours really don't show that much because back then they didn't put hour meters on them, they just put mileage, but it's got a pile of hours just sitting over manholes, just sitting there running because you're using the truck engine to run the rotor the whole time. So I guess I'm down here asking permission to go ahead and move forward with replacing the Unit 27 Vector truck.
One question I have, Mitch, is often when we have equipment, sometimes we'll consider sending it to auction. It might bring a little more. Do you think 20K is a good trade-in offer? Or do you think we could do better at auction?
I think it's a good offer because actually they gave us a little bit extra money because the pump went out, was it 2 years ago, I believe? Yeah. And they credit us, pretty much they're buying the pump back, the rotor pump on the back, it's the whole back assembly. So they kind of threw that in there to, I guess, compensate us trading that truck off. It's got a severe oil leak. I mean, it leaks oil. You can't dump it in fast enough. I mean, I wasn't going to spend all the money to tear the engine out and the hydraulics off the front. I mean, we've got our good out of it. I really felt pretty good about that price they gave us for it.
And the Sourcewell, guys, if you remember, is pre-qualified bidding, basically, that the state does. The bidding process, for the sealed bidding process that gets those best prices for units versus us doing the RFP in-house.
I'm surprised I looked up Houston, and there was 400,000,
Yeah.
and they had more miles than we did.
Ours is, when they come down and looked at it, the reel don't, or excuse me, the remote control for the hydraulics don't work no more on it. I mean, we've gotten our good, somebody's got to stand on top of it, physically manipulate the solenoid valves to make it work. I mean, we've got the good out of this baby.
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of a new medium-duty 3 cubic yard back truck with key equipment for the total price of $370,637.52.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carries. All right, Mill's here, so council, we can go back to...
Sit down.
Come on up.
I just wanted to give a really quick update on what economic development is doing with all of the downtown construction to support. So we are having interviews next week with several of our stakeholders to be hiring our Director of Economic Development. And that person is going to be focusing very specifically with entrepreneurs and small business. And so they're going to start very specifically with the downtown corridor. They're going to be doing weekly visits, check-ins, just asking, questions about how everything is going and how we can support, and kind of just continuously finding new and hopefully creative ways to make them feel supported while all this road construction is essentially going on. Another piece is economic development has been working with Ad Astra Radio and Thrive Allen County. So initially, Thrive has like this revolving radio hour that they have. And so I went to them and asked if we could have a piece of it for a small business series to highlight the downtown corridor businesses during the construction. And so we've used up all those slots already, and so I've now reached out to purchase radio spots. And so the idea is just to amplify their marketing efforts, and it might be Facebook ads eventually as well. It's really just the idea is, once again, while they're seeing a downturn in business, what can we do to just push out the shop local, get into the corridor? It may look scary, but we're still open for business kind of thing. Allen E Community, they meet once a month. Matt's on that particular group with me, and we're going to be discussing some of the construction as well with that group, just to see if we can come up with some kind of creative solutions. We've launched small business incentives through Allen E Community, and that's chamber memberships for a startup for both the Humboldt Chamber as well as the Iola Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. And then for existing small business, they can actually apply for funding for a variety of things. But this group's done a lot of things like this, essentially, and so we've started communicating with that group, and we're on the agenda just to see what we can do. Thrive went after a grant that was for $15,000, specifically towards revitalizing the downtown corridor. And so I'm trying to get what language, I am not a grant person, but there's $15,000 right now allocated to our downtown corridor, and I'm going to try and figure out, with their assistance, exactly what it could cover and build out something. I unfortunately can't give you more direction than that because it's a learning curve for me, but they did go after that funding in partnership with Iola Industries. It was awarded, and so we will see what that could look like. We've talked about all kinds of things, but I don't want to share any of that until I actually understand what this grant is. Okay, I think I know I highlighted this a little bit, but once this person comes online, I'm guessing it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks because the interviews are tomorrow. We're going to be hiring 1 or 2 interns that are going to be downtown ambassadors. And we're going to just try a variety of things. I think it's our market that has the guy who sits out there with the sign, and he's really engaging. We may take a play out of their book and try to find just ways to amplify even through that. It just feels like our signs aren't working, and so we're going to just keep trying to throw spaghetti at the wall. As I move into the last piece of my update, I just want to say at this point, If any of you, or even anyone watching, if you have any ideas of how we can amplify or make this go smooth for our small businesses, I'm very open to suggestion. This is the first time I've dealt with something like this, and this is what we're here for. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what your investment fuels is. You guys invest in economic development, and economic development, then it's my job to invest in our business. And so that's where a lot of this comes from. We met with Dodge City, reached out to Network Kansas to see if there's any emergency funding available for downtown corridor businesses. They told us there is not. Well, and let me rephrase, there is, but not for something like this. They did tell us that Dodge City had a similar situation with road construction, and that they felt like they had a lot of good ideas. And so we scheduled a virtual meeting with them, and they gave us a few ideas. I wanted to share those with you, and you'll notice some of them we're already doing, because that's where I got the ideas from Dodge City. So the things that they shared with us is that they would have weekly meetings that the contractor actually hosted there. So it wasn't the city department, it was the contractor that hosted weekly meetings with them. When they did end up communicating with them, they communicated with the business owner. They would send them a letter in the mail, an email, and a call. They hired a downtown ambassador, so clearly I stole that. They did a lot of marketing promotions. This was something the person they hired as a downtown ambassador is very skilled at, and so they hired someone who specifically did that, and knew a lot about marketing. And then they waived utilities for one phase of the construction phase for all small businesses that were affected during the construction season. And that was just a way for the city to kind of say, hey, we're in there with you. But I just want to share, I want to debrief on what I learned as I'm trying to figure out how to do my job and support your small businesses, and just be really clear that if any point in time you feel like there needs to be more done, I'm happy to do it. And that, if any of the small businesses need anything, we're here to support.
Quick question. The individual that flips the sign, I've noticed that he goes down to MJ's on occasion under the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Do they see a vast difference between people stopping when he's out there?
That's a good question. I haven't even asked.
It must be effective.
I think it's,
Out there quite a while.
yeah, and I think it's worth asking. It always gets my attention, but I've never thought to ask the very direct question of, does this actually bring you additional revenue?
Now would be a good time to ask. But
Yeah.
Not out front of the market, do they see a difference on that day when he's up the road?
Right. Well, and I've noticed several small businesses have purchased like new little stand-up signs. Like they're doing their own level of investments into things like that. And before they go out and purchase things, I would say if they want to reach out, sometimes e-community may be able to support with something so that they're not spending even more money trying to, work through it. But I will ask that question.
Because I will say that for me, when I drive through downtown, there's times where, construction isn't going on, you notice people coming in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And the restaurant's a good example. There's quite often you drive by there, it looks shuttered.
Yeah.
It looks shut down.
Yeah.
And you'll see one or two people come out, but they kind of look shut down.
Yeah.
They don't look open right now.
Yeah.
So anytime, dancing sign guy, you notice it, you notice they're open.
Yeah, well, he told me he dressed up in a construction cone, the Dodge City downtown ambassador person, and would do like little video walkthroughs every week just to show, okay, here's what's changed this week. And so, I thought about that, getting one of the theater students, ideally someone who's really sociable and excited from ACC or even high school. And having them out there doing little videos of here's where the sidewalk's open and just open for business things. So open to suggestion.
Well, we definitely rely on our businesses to help with our tax base and to help keep our city vibrant and alive. I'd be interested in receiving some additional information on how this played out. We talked about some businesses waiving utilities. I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah.
How would it be administered fairly? And I just question, you've got walk-in legal offices, you've got walk-in bank, you've got a walk-in insurance company. They're not retail, so do you have a limitation on, because I can do business with an insurance company all my time. The bank, you can make phone. So how would that look like if you did a discount on utilities or
Something.
waive them, and what kind of a waiving period?
Well, and I asked him to send me everything he could after the meeting. I will pull that out and forward it over so that you guys have that on your side. And then I'll ask a few more detailed questions about the utilities portion. We really just kind of did a broad overview of several things, but I'll ask him to go a little bit deeper on that one. And I think it's a very good question. How do we make it so that it's of real value to
With
everyone?
all the stress high with the construction, I would warn against wearing a cone costume.
Trigger.
I trigger somebody to come to curb.
Sure, sure.
Anybody else, questions?
In the wintertime, when bills skyrocket for heat, I do know, I don't know if our community does or not, but I know there's other small communities that they will cap your utilities at a certain rate and spread it out, payments over the other months. So I know that there's flexibility in people's accounts to do things like that. So if we looked at something like July, August, September, October, where we could say, hey, we'll lower a rate and we can balance out the rest of the year until things pick back up, I mean, would that be an option that is a bit?
We have a payment plan. You can sign up for it, and it
Are there many businesses?
makes it even every month.
No, I'm just saying, but that proves we can make adjustments to their pay. So if we did something where it's like, hey, until this gets through, maybe we can lower your payment so that your overhead is not as high during that time, and understanding it'll get caught up back when you're back and rolling again, when the street's good and there's more traffic coming through. But could we just adjust that? Really not out. It's coming back to us, but to me, it would be a show of good faith that, hey, we're going to try something to help you guys out during this time, because that's what the whole reason for that level, the level of pay was, we didn't want people to freeze to death. So we're like, hey, we'll keep your bill low, we'll catch you up. I just feel like if there's something that we can do it that way, then there should be, we can put our heads together and come up. I would think that'd be cool as a gesture to the businesses if they go, ooh, we can make a little easier payroll this month, so.
I'll go do some additional research on my end and see how they were able to make it work. And I do know one piece is it was only during a certain phase of the road construction. Sorry, my words. And so I think that was also how they managed to balance it out. But yeah, I can say in terms of economic development, I mean, obviously my perspective is always of the industry alone, right? I know you have to look at everything. I look at one particular group and advocate for them. I would advocate strongly for them, or at least for you to consider something like this to support them during this tough time during the construction, which we all know is extremely necessary for our roads.
Well, in the short time you've been here, you've also stated and educated me that it's not just about drawing new business to the community. It's just as important as
Retention is 100% the majority of the work that I do. That's correct. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks. I apologize for keeping you waiting.
Thanks, Camille.
All right, budgets. Creation, you're up.
Good evening.
Page 51.
I think those cover sheets, the numbers are wrong. It's 52 through 56. I don't know if I meant 52 through 56.
Sanitation, and sanitation.
Yeah. I obviously got the summary sheet correct before I left, and then get the cover pages corrected. So.
If you look at the revenue, I mean, there's a little fluctuation between some of the lines, but I mean, overall, it's just changing about $7,000 from last year. Most of our programs are staying steady. Do you guys have any questions about the revenue side of things?
I have a question. So this revenue is basically, looks like most of these, numerous-wise, they're fees.
Right.
How do our rec fees, do we have any idea how they compare to other communities for their rec departments? I mean, can we squeeze more dollars out of our people who participate in the rec programs? Or are we in line with what we probably should be?
I think we're pretty much in line with other communities. What I'd be scared about if we tried to squeeze more money out of other people is we're gonna lose more kids.
Yeah.
That would be like, if we had to find a way to raise more money, that would be my least favorite idea. I don't want to lose kids to not be able to play just because they're not able to afford it.
Okay.
But if I was told to raise fees, I mean, if there's a fee I'd like to raise, it'd be the pool fee. I mean, kids are paying $2. I'm willing to do a study again. I've done them in the past. If we can raise the pool fees even to $3. I mean, I've been here 14 years and we've raised rates one time and it was from $1 to $2. Or free as in for Donna. But it's something I think we should look at. Like if you go to Fredonia and their hours aren't even comparable to ours, they're open 1 to 6 every day and they're $4 a person.
I know the chemicals for the pool is quite costly and you absorb a lot of chemicals from the sun. Are there many municipalities that are switching over to the same thing themselves?
Not that I know of. They all use liquid, which I should probably use liquid, but I don't know very much about it, so I'm scared to. Probably a little bit, but like in Salina, they had an explosion when you mixed liquid chlorine with acid and hydrochloric acid. So my expertise isn't that great in it when I only deal with it for 3 months.
So cheaper but more dangerous?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, one thing as we go through this budget cycle is, there's a lot of talk in the community, and people are looking at places to save right now with our property taxes have gone up pretty significantly over the last 3 years. Any place we can be creative to think about where to cut would be ideal.
On the building rentals, is that just this building and the North Community Building?
No, that's just our gym.
Just the gym?
Yep.
Does not include any of the community buildings?
The other ones are in the general fund. This one and the North Community Building would be in the general fund.
Most of that's coming from the homeschool.
I was just thinking like maybe, I know we've rented it several times, and outside of graduation season, I don't feel like we could use these buildings more. I know event space is such a big push right now. I mean, first thing they're doing at the new state park is putting in a beautiful event space, and we have one going in down here. Is that a possibility of advertising or pushing it for more rentals? That, I mean, it's pretty easy money. They show up, and I know the protocol is people pretty much clean up afterwards and you're out, so.
Right. So total number of events in our building was 11,036 events, recreation programs, and then the gymnasium used by the high school, the college, the Rotary Club, Thrive. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them, but like that's open gym, open walking. Like we almost have something, especially when you get to the winter months, that like we try not to book out more than 3 to 6 months in advance in case we have something like we can't host something because it's already booked. We have a 3-day family reunion the day, like a couple days after the fair, and they've been wanting it for a year, and I told them to call back on a certain date 6 months out, and they called back that day at 8 o'clock. They wanted it, so, I mean, we could try, it's just we have so much going on in our own building already. Plus, I mean, everybody else uses our building. There's a whole list of them. The fair is going to take over our building for 2 weeks, starting Friday, basically. I mean, we've had a few wedding receptions, but not a whole lot. But, I mean, they don't like it because it's a gymnasium, but I mean, people make it work. So, I mean, it's personal preference would be my guess. Like, how much do you want to decorate to cover up some of the stuff in the gymnasium?
I guess I was leaning more toward, I didn't know it was a general fund, more towards the 2 community buildings that we have.
That's Robbie, not.
They're rented quite frequently. And Robbie, we can certainly have Robbie get those numbers for you. I'm sure he can rattle off most of them when he comes to the next budget meeting.
What I'm getting at is, I know there's that group that wants to cut taxes, and there's that group that wants to cut salaries, and I'm like, where are things we can look through that we can increase on availability to bring in more revenue, as opposed to cut.
I think you could increase the price of the rentals. I mean, $50 for the whole day.
That's
is-
pretty cheap.
I mean, hasn't probably been raised since I've been here, so 2012. Inflation's, everybody's seen it.
But to rent this facility for $100 a day would not be terrible at all. That would
I mean, you're doubling the price, but
You're doubling those funds.
and then the things we're saving for or we need is a vehicle replacement. Our truck's a 2010. The Gator is a 2012. The three-wheeler's been here since, I think, 2007 or so. And then we need a mower for our soccer fields and all our fields that has a side discharger with a bagger. Because right now we're going out and we're using it's like a yard rake, trying to get all the leftover grass so we don't have thatch, so our nice soccer field doesn't look bad in 2 years with all the leftover grass on it. And then the pool roof needs replaced. We patched it up before the summer, but it needs some TLC. The pool house in general needs some TLC. It was built in 1938. The building needs some TLC. Is built in 1938. They're all WPA buildings.
Have you got any quotes on roof replacement?
Bourne's told me to be between 50 and 55. The gymnasium roof we had quoted a couple years ago is $200,000. Our lights on our ball fields the parts are obsolete. You're looking at, if we went to LED lighting, you're looking at, those numbers didn't jive, but see 32, 60, 140, you're looking at $200,000 for LED lighting for all 6 fields. We could fix the infield and the outfields of the ball fields, you're looking at $252,000. Fencing, you're looking at probably $200,000. I mean, you're looking at $1 million just to jump on the ball fields. So they need new dugouts, new scoreboards.
So that's why I've been communicating to you all this basically stagnant funding, right? It's frankly it's just not working. I don't know any other way to say it. Basically, it's giving you the cost there, and that's fine. We don't even have any money to maintain what we have, so we don't maintain it. And it just, you put it in the ground and it goes back. So that's why we've been suggesting to you all that we need to be funding rec between $800,000 to $1 million a year. And some of that would be just the backup, make up for what he just said now.
Is it possible to get a wish list?
Oh yeah, I could get you.
I figure
You want me to dream big or like?
Just be realistic, but you're spouting out these numbers because I know you know them
Right.
before. But I'm the type of person I'm very visual. I need to see things tonight. And so if we could get a realistic with some.
I have some black and white numbers for you. When I started in 2014 as rec director, our revenue budget was 541. We're in 226, and our revenue budget is 548. Full $7,000. Our salaries skyrocketed because we've all been here over 10 years besides the assistant.
I don't question.
So-
I'm not questioning it. I'm not questioning
Right.
the fact that it's not, that it's not making sense. I'm a very visual person, and I want to see things in black and white. And I want to know what your wish list is.
Like-
Open that Sears catalog, you want to start on.
Okay,
so we
I
know
appreciate
what-
that. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I want to get the building out of the flood zone. I don't want to go through another flood.
I would think that
Right, but, I mean, we know what's gonna happen, right? So if I can dream big like that, then, I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, obviously,
Put it on paper.
obviously it is big, and realistically, a lot of that's not going to come to fruition in
Right.
5 to 10 years, but we have to have goals. And I don't know what those goals are.
All people don't know that we widen the number of
Right. Yeah, you know, and so.
Budgeting for those things help.
Yeah,
Similar to how we
and,
do budget.
you know, I mean, everybody, and we have attempted grant writing and things like that. And, you know, there's an entire union that is trying to follow. the
Right, I mean, that's how we
same amount of money, so.
improved our soccer fields.
Yeah, yeah, so I would love to see a wish list.
I can get that for you.
Joel, do you think, so I'm just trying to get it to where he has what direction he goes. Do you think like a laid out year projected table would be helpful with kind of a number?
Prioritize.
Right, yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
1 through 20 or whatever that number is.
But also a backup plan, I mean, does that whole house get fixed, or do we look at something else?
right, I mean, you could almost put two wish lists together, yeah. A floodplain, staying in the floodplain, and a plan of getting out of the floodplain.
I think too, on the list should be, if you're dreaming big, getting this piece of equipment or this field set up or this field fixed would allow us to do this that we can't do currently. Like, I would feel comfortable if you put things on there that said, hey, if we were to fix up our baseball field, now that the school district's not using it anymore, if we sank money into that baseball field, we could then have X number of tournaments that would bring in this much revenue. To me, as a councilman and a taxpayer, it'd be like, well, that makes sense. I mean, I went through the whole thing with Fort Scott when they built their facility. Now, I know that's a big pie in the sky and they had financial donors behind it, but they had a lot of pushback for that facility.
Right.
Since then, it makes hand over foot money from having tournaments there every weekend. If you think that that's not good for down here because of our facilities, then put something pie in the sky saying this would allow us to have these tournaments that people go to every weekend. And our kids don't have to go to Kansas City and Topeka. Maybe we can host a showcase tournament here. And I know Fort Scott has one every weekend from March to October, every Saturday.
I mean, I'm not,
If we have these things in writing and realistic goals, and our community and taxpayers are seeing that this isn't just lip service,
right,
there may be some people that will come forward and not selling hot dogs on the square on Thursday nights, you know, I mean, we need a plan.
we need numbers and a plan.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Mayor, can I jump in and say one thing? And I think it's important to note that aside from the alcohol tax, we don't put any tax dollars in. Right, there's 548,000 in revenue, 419 of that comes from transfer to utilities. We don't put any general fund money into the rec program, so the property taxes you pay, don't go to rec.
Why is that? Explain that. I don't understand that. I don't understand why at least a portion of taxes don't go to rec.
Right, as long as I've been here, we haven't afforded to. As long, my guess is they've never done it.
All the rec programs used to be run by basically volunteer.
Yeah.
Well, before Berkeley had it, it was ran by different people in the community that ran softball and baseball.
Is this something that we could work with the county on to
You all can make your own decision. I mean, you can have a dedicated rec levy.
that just seems bizarre to
You
me.
can have a transfer
Yeah.
from the general fund to, tell you right now, we can't afford it.
Yeah, makes sense for the city, but as much money as we pay in county taxes.
I mean, when I was in Seneca, we didn't have any money. Tax money that went to recreation. El Dorado didn't have that I remember. It was usually based off of fees. And mean, I kicked the tires about raising fees when I first got here, and I reached out to them quick. It seemed to me that you all are at least willing to take a look at that. I suggested going from $2 to $3 at the pool. I did not go over. So if you guys are willing to do that, you can take a broad look at how we fund rec. It doesn't all have to be transferred from utility funds. I mean, taking up some of our fees would put us, it's not going to put us at some kind of competitive disadvantage with other cities.
Well, I think a lot of serious thought is being put towards that, as well as, we can see some things right now as far as what we have the state park, it's a big open, and there is a lot of the state park, well, that's being really wrong. And it needs a serious improvement.
Yeah, we can do it.
Alcohol tax did drop extensively because we dropped under 6,000 population. During the flood, we did drop. So since we're under 6,000, the state looks at it, the county should get more proportionally of our alcohol tax. They do get a larger portion of the city of Iola's alcohol tax than what we get because of our population.
Mike's is, the electric department would start at page 33 and run through 44, guys, in your packet.
I believe it starts with the line crew.
Yeah, it starts with
Yeah.
distribution.
Most of the line items carried straight across from the 2026 budget to the 2027 budget. Capital outlay items, we increased the tree trimming program a little bit. I think we're going to incorporate a little bit of spray in some of our right-of-ways. It's getting harder to get back into. Capital outlay $75,000 for the country club addition, where we're going to run a new line, loop feed around it. I think it'd be a wise thing to do and not have all the yards tore up out there that we got to go maintain and fix as we go through trenchers and backhoes. We just bored, and we just got small holes to maintain. $3,000 for the meter relocation program. $25,000 for the Kubota RTV. Equipment reserve items is a new bucket truck, $250,000 estimated. It's about 3 years out, 2 to 3 years out to get one, so you need to put your name in now if you want one to be in queue. So bring that up now. And to move the line crew out to the floodplain, I guess, the power plants, where we're thinking about putting them out there and out of the warehouse so everybody's together. A lot less running around to maintain them, keep them all in one spot. And capital improvement projects, as you can see, we're putting back money for the 69 pole replacement and $50,000 for telemetering operations.
You have another lineman?
Excuse me?
You add another lineman?
No, we have not replaced Jimmy.
I saw over here they had 2 linemen in 26 and 3 in Cranston. Over here you got 6 now.
7. I bet I didn't subtract out the...
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
No, we
subtract
didn't.
that out.
We didn't add one, no.
No. We have, I mean, we've left
We've
a...
had 3 promotions in the last year.
Right.
Yeah, we had guys go from
Apprentice
to lineman.
Yeah.
We did leave the lineman position.
There.
This is the last year. I mean, if it continues to work like it has, we'll probably pull that funding for that additional lineman. When Jim retired and we converted Mike over everything, I left one lineman in there in case we wanted to have another hand. Because, I mean, Jim was a working department head just like Mike, so on a lot of outages, he would be with the crew. And my thought was, hey, if we have another lineman, that could at least be a groundman or whatever. Likely, it's been working, so I would imagine we'll pull it out. We haven't funded or haven't filled it in 2 years now, so probably won't do it again.
Any other questions on the line crew? Guess we can move on to the power plant budget. Once again, most of the line items carried straight across. There's a couple, though, that made changes on. I'll explain them in a little bit. Capital outlay items, $30,000 on a relay coordination study and have our relays calibrated. $50,000 more on the SCADA system for the substations. The $30,000, that's a large number, and it probably won't be that much. I think
adding another fuel cell to the new power plant we're building up north. $60,000 to wrap the exhaust on the new engines up there. That didn't get included when we did this first round of them. $40,000 for place controls and panels on the sewer lift station at the water plant, power plant. That's 2001, I believe, Lyndon, ain't it? When that was put in? Sewer lift station out there?
I'm not sure that where I work.
Yeah.
But probably.
Anyway, it's, a lot of the pieces and components are starting to get outdated on it and a little bit harder to find. It desperately needs, I'd like to get it updated so it's more in line with what Mitch has got all through town. So if we need parts and pieces, maybe we can he can help us out and not have to be a standalone out there with our pieces for our lift station out there. Start putting money back for our new unit 4, which will just get passed down to a unit 3, and unit 3 will go to another department. Capital improvement projects will be $25,000 for catalyst replacement on some of the EMDs that we've had in service since 2013, and $250,000 for added generation and new substations if we keep getting expansion on some of our like data centers or whatever else is wanting to go in throughout the city. We're about out of we're out of substation and going to be out of capacity. Any questions?
If we need a new substation, what's that going to run us?
I was just discussing that with Matt. It depends on where we go and what we do. If we start all the way green, you're probably looking at over $1 million for a new sub, and that'd be bare boned. If we jump back to where we're at, like maybe the power plant 1 and do some work out there, less than $500,000. A lot of the infrastructure's there, but it all depends on where we get the permits. Our air permits will be to put the generation behind it if we want to use it for a substation or a generating substation.
Okay. And that would be in addition to whatever we spend on the generators.
Yeah. Ideally, if we're building a substation, we've outgrown what we got, so we're going to need expansion for that. And if we've got expansion because we've outgrown it and we got more load, behind that means we're going to have to buy more generation to back up our capacity. So they kind of go hand in hand. So we really need to evaluate where we want to go. Initially, we thought we'd maybe go to property we own up there by Russ Stover's, but I've kind of rethought that now, and I think maybe the best place to go, if we can get the permitting on it, would be to drop back to the main power plant and start out there where we got some of the infrastructure that didn't get flooded out in 2007. A lot of it's there. We just will be utilizing it and not utilizing it.
Okay.
The difference is about 500.
Depending on what we want to do and how much we want to pull out of it. Yeah, it could be less than that. I mean, as far as the bulk of the big transformers sitting there, you know, it's just breakers and switching and building to it. Wherever we put the plant to build to it is what we got to pay for, basically.
What kind of time frame do you think we would know that?
Once again, we've had this discussion. I think when we start pushing the envelopes and we're needing capacity somewhere, when we hit the 35, 32, 36 mark of actual capacity used, we ought to start thinking about maybe putting some generation back, at least getting numbers and getting some ideas where we're going to go, because right now I think we're good for about 40 with the addition of the new units up north.
And what are we using now?
We'll be good, nameplate will be good for 40 megawatts.
Right, but what's our actual usage?
About 23, 24 times 16%.
That's an oddly specific number.
Yeah.
That's,
Tell us.
Yeah, that's, the 23 is talking about is our daily peak.
Yeah.
We usually hit it sometime in July, and that was the way that last year done. The 15, 16% he's talking about, that's a buffer we have to have, and that comes from the FTP. So you take your peak, your daily peak times 15%.
And actually, the winters are 36%.
Yeah.
You know, the summer's 16 and the winter's 36. So, and granted, your winter loads aren't as high as your summer loads, but
get you on the other side with the percentage that you got to have above it. They want you to almost have your summer load in the winter now. They want to see that much capacity set on.
That's just changed in the last 3 years?
Since Storm
Since
Uri,
Uri.
Winter Storm Uri, that kind of changed the rule book.
Yeah, that wasn't, winter peak wasn't a thing until a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions? Thank you, folks.
It's like water is the first thing, probably, or your gas, which is page 22.
I got water up.
Okay,
I was just
water.
following how you had on the deal.
Okay, 34 and 35, guys.
Well, I'm mainly going to echo everything that Mike just said. We pretty much straight lined across everything. You know, we're trying to cut and save everywhere we can. It gets pretty tight at times doing that. We've acquired quite a little bit of, miles of main. We got 90, probably over 90 miles of main. You might as well call it 100 miles of water main that 3 guys pretty much try to cover and maintain. The good thing is, it's not a good thing, but we only got about 2,700 water meters we got to maintain. But it's the miles of main that just kills you when you run around in the summertime fixing water leaks and doing your daily duties that you know, laying water main, new water main. But I don't think we're going to really purchase much out of this department next year. We was possibly going to schedule for a new air compressor, but I think I'm going to cite it back another year or so and see if we can get another year out of it. And then when we do buy it, we'll probably get rid of we got 2 air compressors for the gas department, has one too. We'll just cite it down and they can take that. And I was actually going to see if probably Robbie wants our open for the cemetery up there, because they need one off and on, and it'd be a good one for him up there. We kind of went through it over the years. So other than that, any questions in the water?
Wastewater's on page 46 for Mitch, anyhow.
About the same thing here. We got a 2-man crew, 13 lift stations, roughly probably 70 miles of sewer main, 800 some odd manholes we maintain. About everything slid straight across. I think we always try to put back enough to do a sewer lining job every other year. So we put back a little over $100,000 every year to maintain that status quo that we're trying to keep up. Yeah, to line our sewer mains. So every other year, we did one this year, so it'll be 28, and we'll possibly do another one.
This is one of the funds that we've not made all the transfers to CIP as well. So that lining project, we may end up pushing it back a year just due to the lack of being able to transfer the money. That's out of Mitch's control, but it's the reality of it.
You know, we need to stay on top of it, because if there's any buried utility in Iola that's really in terrible shape, it's this one. I mean, this thing is, we've just overlooked it. We Band-Aided it for basically ever. I mean,
What kind of percentage, Mitch, do we have lined now? Are we at the 25 or 30% level?
I'm going to say probably somewhere with what's lined and what we've replaced, direct bury, and it's already SDR. We're probably somewhere around 30%.
And those deeper ones are the ones that the deeper ones and the problem ones behind houses that you can't really get the truck to, and those kind of things are the ones we focused on for the most part early on.
Yeah, well, like, for instance, on the south side of the square, I mean, we lined them. They actually wasn't that bad a shape, and thank God they wasn't, because it's 22 foot deep to them. We have nothing to get to them. I mean, I've been down in that hole 22 foot deep, and it's flat scary down there.
Decrease in expenditures, drop on capital outlay, 150,000, 40,000.
That's the vac truck.
Yeah.
That's the last year that we allocated money for that vac truck to equipment reserve. And there's not a lot of other equipment in the sewer department other than a pickup and that vac truck.
Yeah, so if we just, put nothing back. I mean, we probably ought to honestly start throwing money back at it in the next couple of years, but that's what happened, why it took so long to replace this one. And when we did get money back in the old way it worked, it got took by another department sometimes, but it's fixed up now, so that doesn't happen no more.
They always have to remind us of that.
How long ago was that?
I didn't go on and on like a fire truck.
Was you here, Roxanne, when it
Oh,
happened?
yes,
It would have been in probably,
Dan Lesling's here, he's like the exact date.
Yeah.
Hour.
yeah.
Any other questions or any questions in the wastewater fund?
Last one from Mitch would be gas distribution, and that is on page 28.
Now, you can look at the bottom line, it is almost a carbon copy. It went up just a little bit. I mean, we slid everything across and cut and tried saving what we could. We're setting money back for a new mini excavator. That thing is handy in our pocket on a shirt. And I got money back to replace a dump truck next year. I probably will, the way it looks, we can probably squeeze another year out of it. So that money will probably sit there, and we'll worry about that in 2028. We got somewhere around 55 miles of gas main. The gas meter is about 2,300, and we got a 3-man crew on the crew that lays it, and a 2-man leak survey crew and a service truck. But he covers everything, water, gas, and sewer. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell on our employees and our departments. There are 12 counting me. I don't count much.
I noticed that.
Likewise, with, you know, the percentage of the sewer, where you at on fair maintenance replacement?
Probably, we're probably somewhere halfway or better. The deal is we're getting down almost like the water department. It's the big, ugly, nasty ones. It's just a 3-man crew is just shy of, we're going to probably have to start thinking about hiring people to come in and help us lay them. Because we're getting to the big feeder lines, and it's just, 3-man crew just can't do what you should have 12 to 14 people doing. We need a crew like this on Madison up there right now to start, relaying these lines. We don't have the equipment for it. They got boring machines. They'll come in and just start popping holes. So that's about where we are on our utilities. The only good thing is on the sewer, we can have, we have a crew come in and line them, and they can do a block in an hour. That's what we need to get money set back to start doing in the water and gas funds. Every year we go through the same thing that's happening right now. When it goes to Oak Street Tower, you just fight it all year long trying to keep chlorine up in the vicinity because the mains are so old up there, they're barnacled up, and it just eats the chlorine clean out of them. I mean, every year is a battle through that stretch of town.
Yeah, well, I'm not glad to say that because that's very sad what you said. But let's see, I am successfully 0 for 3 in applying for grants to deal with the issues he was talking about, and there's another funding mechanism that's available to deal with those issues. I got my fire myself from the grant writing and maybe I'm professional to do it. We've been trying to get gas side, we've been trying to get water side, getting water office, grant side. Last year, we admittedly looking back on it, we probably asked for too much. I'm going to pare it down and ask for one project as opposed to 4. We asked for 1.8 million. Now, not a huge ask, but we had that distributed over 4 different projects. I think I'll sit down with Mitch and we'll try to find one project, the one needed the most, and then apply for that.
Would be Oak Street.
Yeah. Probably fine. Maybe try to get with someone to write the grant because I'm free, so it's not like I did the same thing every 3 times, but got feedback and what was good, what was bad, what could we improve on. Yeah. So we're working on that stuff.
Better to go after it and be refused than not go after it at all.
Well, we're not standing this alone. About every other town you talk to, they've got old. I mean, you still run across people with wooden water mains. You're going, holy cow, you're kidding me. But and everybody's asking for money to fix their just overlooked systems.
on the gas we got to keep up on. I mean, KCC's going
Yeah.
to tell us, so we're going to keep up on that natural
They
gas
pretty much
system.
dictate what you're going to do, or they'll just tell you put a price tag on it. It's for sale, sucker. So,
That's good to hear you for
yeah. They'd love to see it, I mean, they'd love to see us probably get rid of more of it a year, but they allowed us to write our O&M, how much we can get rid of, and that's pretty much all a three-man crew can do anyways. So, you know, they'd much prefer Kansas Gas owned versus us.
And we're one of the biggest, we're what, the third
We're the
biggest?
third largest.
Chanute, Winfield, and us
Yeah.
are the three largest municipal-owned gas
systems.
utilities in the state, so. There's not very many of them out there.
Not anymore. Any questions? Thank you. See y'all.
Yeah, let's go with water. It's page 36 and 37 for the water treatment side.
Okay, so water department and wastewater treatment, we got 4 guys out there, including me. Most of our numbers went straight across. If it increased, it was probably because that's how much we spent last year, or I did a 3% increase based on inflation. Big projects we have coming, painting our clarifier units out there, the big circular things that are outside. I'm starting to see rust and stuff on the metal parts, and we're hoping to get that done or at least one of them done in 2027, with planning to get the next one done the year after that. Any money going into equipment reserve is for our sludge lagoon clean out there. We've been pushing it off for quite a few years, mainly for projects that take priority over it. But you can see things are growing in the back one, and KDHE has mentioned it to us, noting that we need to take care of it. So we're putting stuff back for that. Any questions?
What's an ozone upgrade? That's a lot of money.
I think that's in 2030.
2030.
So right now, we're in the process of, this year, we're doing a PLC upgrade. A PLC is the computer inside our control panel that controls our equipment and basically automates our plant for what parts are automated.
It's the brains of the system.
Yeah, it's the brains of every room, everything in there that we can run from a computer. That's what does it. We are in the process of upgrading those. The ozone upgrade is to bring that up to par with that upgrade. Along with the generators, there's some electronic components that are no longer being made. And if one generator goes down, then we can only have one, and our redundancy system gets taxed pretty quickly.
Our new water plant isn't so new anymore.
Yes, yeah. And I'm trying to keep it as new as we can and
It's paid for,
operating
though.
that way.
It is paid
Yeah,
for.
At its core, that is one giant machine, and giant machines need to be maintained, and I mean, it's not enough money to do it, but we've been able, we had to get water towers, that was the first step. And then we had to get the PLCs, makes it sound like, need a brain transplant, but
It pretty much is.
yeah, I mean, it was the brains of the machine, and we needed upgrades, and then the next step is doing ozone. But as Kim mentioned, we don't have a $686,400 anchor on our back anymore, and that money will go right to everything you see in front of you. And as you can see, those items that need to be done are not cheap. And actually, I have a note here, came in and talked to me the other day, rehabbing the solid contact units, it's going to be more like 150 to 175. And it's a rehabilitation. It's similar to what we did with the water towers. Yeah, saying in painting, it's not like you go and get a gallon of paint, you know, this is basically a rehabilitation of that thing. It's similar to what we did with Water Tower.
So in the budget now, there's 100,000 in 2027. And then 2028 will be year two, and then also 2022, so we'll move up the budget. How, what's the projected?
Well, number one, we haven't had the revenue to actually put any money back for it. And then number two, as he stated, there's just been other needs that were in front of that. Now, if KDHE is taking an eye on it, I have a feeling that might get pushed to the front. We may get told you are going to do this sludge lagoon. Now, when Toby was here, it was all right, well, one of these can get put off right now, and it was always the sludge lagoon. Now, the sludge lagoons and then doing the DLCs is always something we can always put back. That's more of an FYI, the information how much it's going to cost right now before the day. That's always been one that we had to cut something.
And as far as I know, as long as KDHE knows that we have told you about it, we're okay on the sludge lagoon. Like until they get serious and say, all right, now you really got to do something. You got to go to council and you got to do something. As far as I know, they just made a note of it.
What's the life expectancy of, for example, the water tower rehab, the ozone upgrade, and the lagoon? How long does that last?
Well, if you look at our current situation, the ozone, the PLCs, and the ozone upgrade in that, 20 years. Now, whether or not they continue to make that equipment in the future, that all affects it. And that's one of the reasons, at least for the ozone. The PLC is the same way, though. The PLCs are starting to where the company that manufactures them is not manufacturing them new anymore. So now if I have to repair them, I have to get them refurbished, and they're never as good as they were when they were bought new. And
The water towers, remember, they're on a maintenance agreement now, so we shouldn't
How
get
they look now will look like that forever. As long as we keep the
service
the
agreement.
maintenance program, yeah. That will take care of, those things should last forever, as long as they're painted correctly.
And are there service contracts available for contacting you?
They had mentioned it. I don't know anything about that as of yet. It would be something like the towers, where we see how good of a job they do, and then decide then if we want to do a maintenance contract with them. And I can definitely find out more about that. Any other questions on the water?
Wastewater treatment's on page 48, guys, or starts on 48.
So wastewater treatment, and this is purely off of memory. As far as I know, the number just came straight across. If they increased, it's probably from inflation. I usually try to do 3% unless we were planning on something in the future. I don't think we have anything going on that end as of right now, because everything seems to be good on our limits, and nothing's changing on that as far as I know.
You have a mower replacement is the only thing you got in capital outlay.
Yeah,
So
and
you
I'm
put
trying to
somebody-
do that this year.
Right.
I'm trying to do a mower replacement this year, trying to get something that my mower can mow on and also mow our slopes on the dikes out at the lagoons and at the water plant. Something that's safe and not a tractor. It will probably be, I don't know what we'll get back. I have a bid written out, I haven't sent it out yet.
Something like a park for them guys.
I'm hoping something faster. The track mower is nice, but as it gets further away from you, it gets harder to control. And our dikes out of the lagoons are 33 acres apiece. And those berms and lagoons are just, it's an all-day thing if we do it that way.
When you don't perfectly order that one, it's probably the cheapest.
Yes.
Most of what they have.
And there's some other things out there that I've found that seem to be safer and not of a
They've got a zero-turn type mower now that is designed
For it,
to
yes.
mow inclines, that they didn't have when Berkeley bought the remote mower, I
Right.
don't believe.
So we've been looking
5
into
years
that,
ago.
and I've been getting some prices on anything that can do those types of inclines.
Who takes care of the small trees? I know that when they mow in with the tractor and the boom, they drive on the sidewalk, that we use something like that tractor.
We probably could use the track mower that the parks have got to mow that. Street department usually, they're the ones with the boom mower. And if it's dry enough, Robbie and them usually mow the creek up there at Meadowbrook with the mowers, or can try anyhow.
Other than that, on the wastewater, they take care of themselves, and I just monitor it and make sure everything's working right. I do have some plans hopefully in the future to tie it in with the water plant so that it can be seen from a computer in our SCADA system, and reporting would be easier. It would also be updated and have service support in the future, but we are way out on that. 4 or 5 years maybe. So it's not even a plan on the budget right now. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I will make one note, guys. I think when I emailed this out, make sure you keep those. I won't run them again. We'll try and save the part of a tree of running these budget sheets again. We'll use these at your next meeting as well for the general fund guys.
All right. Council Administrator reports. Jeremiah? No, I got nothing this week. I got nothing.
Great.
We'll start over here. Kick up.
But I was wondering if we can do a next question. Somebody like maybe to educate on that center that we that some myths, some false information. Other than that,
Public's still in part.
What?
Public is still in part.
I received a complaint on 220 North End, Holland, actually up there. I guess it's getting overgrown, and there's been some wild critters up there, because one of the people called me and said that he had something in his trash, so he set out a live trap and caught a possum. So he took it to the railroad station. Yellowstone. But a few days later, he caught 2 raccoons. He didn't take them to the same place, so he had prompted him to call me. So I said, we'll call animal control or fish and game. Or you got time on your hands, just take them country cruising. So a couple days later, he said, that's what he's doing. He said, took them country cruising, and he said, we'll stop by Greg and had ice cream. He said, they're quite the entertainers, so they worked out, but he's still right there, something. The other thing is,
North Elm, yeah.
I walked the trail up there behind the CHC, and between Miller and State Street. 29 tracks horizontally across there, are between 1 and 2.5 inches wide. And I'm kind of concerned if somebody's pushing the stroller along there or something, there's a fuel truck off in it. So maybe this fall, we get.
Is that on the part that we've already turned to screenings, Mark? Or is it on the old asphalt piece?
The old asphalt.
Okay.
It's the old asphalt.
Because I know the screenings occasionally,
One side to the other and all the way down.
the screenings do that occasionally. That's why we took out the asphalt and put the screenings in. And we kind of had the indication we were going to have to do that eventually to that other piece.
Well, I'm just wondering if they can't put some screening in those cracks or something.
We tried that and it just disappears. I don't know where it goes. We even watered it and tried to keep it and tamp it in.
If gotta be a bump for the bicycles anyway, but I'm afraid the people going up down to the stroller, they're gonna get.
We allocate some money every year for trail maintenance. I'll visit with Jason and we'll go up and take a look at it.
Last but not least is, it's hot, stay hydrated, but drink responsibly, because I walked between the college entrance to Miller Road, and down to 7 water bottles in the college at UR. So please drink, stay hydrated, but drink responsibly. Recycling, county can take care of that.
She won't have all of that. I guess I would like to find out, get information, form a committee, however we have to do it. Just the overwhelming number of people in the last month. We do have lots of things going on. And when one negative thing goes on in the community, it just spirals out of control, whether that be on social media or just having conversations. Like, I think there needs to be a piece put in the paper or social media, or if Corey gets out there, or the city gets out there and says, we are doing this, this, and this project. The school district says, we are doing this, this, and this project. The KDOT says, we're doing this project, because the other day it got started when we did the spray on Lincoln. It was, 10 hours it was closed down? But 2 hours later, I got a call that said, now KDOT's closing Lincoln, and they're the same ones paying for the school football field. And why is our tax money going to this? And it's like, we just need to educate them on, this is not the city's issue. This is a KDOT. This is the county's issue. This is the school. Because people lump them all together, and then they come upset, and it's like, wait a minute, you're asking me about something that we have nothing to do with. Like, the Lincoln thing really brought it up, because you were hitting street after street, and we were like, well, I didn't know which road to go on, because they closed this road, and they closed. Well, that's totally separate. Like, that has nothing to. I wish there was a way we could communicate to the public and the community to let them know what's all going in town, how's it going to be at the end, and maybe someone from the district could explain what they're doing with their facilities and what's, I actually had someone walk by and say, why is the city fixing the bricks on the high school? And I was like, the city is not paying to fix the bricks on the high school. And I'm like, that's a school district thing, but somehow just get out there that this is what we're doing. If you have a question, call this person.
For lack of better terms, the chamber does like a community calendar. I wonder if that isn't something that you could have, a community calendar type thing for city projects, and just throw it on there. Hey, this is
like a construction community
calendar. It's like the road project. It changes so much.
I know the weekly Facebook post is helping tremendously. So that is a source of information that's getting out there. And the radio picks up on that, paper picks up on it. So,
I mean, we can certainly try and,
I guess I'm just looking for
summertime projects especially, we could certainly try and put out a general post, hey, upcoming in September, I suppose, or whatever, you know what I mean, for each month, and say, here's generally the projects that are going on to look for.
And maybe we need to reach out to the district and the county and those as well and say, no, we're doing this project. Or, because people put them all together on one thing and say, all my tax dollars are going here, and what am I getting? It's like, time out. That has nothing to do with what we're doing. So if there's a way we can communicate better with the constituents so that they have confidence in what we're doing. Yeah, the school board brick project blew my mind that the city council paid for the bricks to get fixed on the school. And I was like, that was a great thing. I don't remember signing that, but, so that's all I got, sorry.
Nothing.
I'll be resigning from city council today, and I sure have appreciated working with everybody here. Be moving out of state the next few days, and it's really been an honor to be on the city council. Learned a lot from the staff over these past 2.5 years, and really enjoyed working with you when I've been able to. I think you're really good women and men. I think you guys are doing a great job. It's been really a pleasure to serve. So I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm really going to miss you guys. I think that you're doing a great job. And I think there's a lot of thoughtful people that are on this council a lot of thoughtful members, and a lot of staff. You know, you guys are really impressed by you, and I thank you for the opportunity. And I hope to see you again in some sort of way.
We certainly appreciate you and your family, and all the time you've been part of our community, and you all, along with your family, have been wonderful cheerleaders for our community in the state of Kansas. I see your videos marveling about our weather and the clouds, and the kindness of the people they've shown you. Thank you to your family for making our community a little brighter with your artwork. We'll be sticking behind, because I don't think you're taking that with you, right?
No, unless we're going to get the wrecking crew out there.
So certainly reluctantly accept your resignation.
Thank you.
But we also, wish you well.
Thank you, Mayor French. Appreciate you.
He's on reiterating.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his reiteration of his resignation. Right.
Max, just off the record, on the record for you, we've had some personal interactions with family Thanksgivings and stuff, and it's been great to get to know you. And speaking to your wife as well, you guys have raised an amazing family. My daughter and your daughter she just loves your kid. And so she will be missed by her and us as well. So good luck to you guys, and stay safe out there. Stay great.
I miss those Thanksgivings.
Yeah. You're welcome anytime. I'll always come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Always to see you.
I do that.
Well, we do have two individuals that have expressed an interest in filling Max's seat. So in 2 weeks, we can have it open for interested parties. They can come, attend, and we can vet them at that time.
We'll do it the next meeting. Okay.
Get it going. Sure. Anybody else? Max? Thank you. Give a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
jump in.
Administrator.
Wow. cut off.
Turns out you should.
Yeah.
Not yet.
We can put this under more discussion. Corey's, have Corey give a quick update on that.
Oh, project. You're just going to skip us, weren't you?
I was. Yeah.
Just a quick update. I know that with me being gone last week, looked like they made pretty good progress. They've got it all dug out, got the base grade to grade and compacted. We've got a soft spot we're dealing with right over there at Jefferson. I'm going to meet with them tomorrow on that, as well as another little issue. But generally, they're do what?
Water leak under it?
No, there's no water leak under it. It's just unstable soil, so they're over excavating in that little area. Probably have to put in a little bit bigger shot rock in that area and compact it a little bit better to make sure our road holds up. It's really not as big as area as I thought it could be, and I kind of believe we'll probably see a couple more of those before we're done, probably on the south side of the square, just based on historical stuff that we've dug out in the past. The water line is past Buckeye now, so we shouldn't have any water interruptions from State Street all the way to Buckeye. I know they've got some holes and some things, but for the most part, the water service is actually, it is complete from Buckeye to State. They're working on out east right now. Our guys are coming back to it.
Will that section be drilled under the connector?
No, it's all been directional bored as well. And I believe they've got all the directional boring done from Buckeye to the hospital curve. They're directional boring now from First Street, or from First Street on the north side of the curve out towards where Eric and them are working today. So it's moving along. The water line has been a little frustrating on my part. It hasn't moved along as smooth as I'd like it, but it is what it is when you're dealing with utilities and old infrastructure. I think we'll see, well, we have a pre-concrete pour tomorrow meeting that hopefully goes well. The testing has went well. So I look to see concrete on the ground Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The rest of the week, I think they'll be pouring concrete pretty heavily. today started putting inlet boxes in there by Audacious and some of the pipe in. So things are moving along well. Everything I've talked to as far as the contractor goes, we're still on pace for that mid-August switch over to the south side. So we ought to be in hot, dry weather, so we shouldn't see those rains that we got there early to slow things down. And I think we'll see probably some lighting, CDL in here, the sub for the lighting on the inside of the square, as well as signals, starting to see that start being the infrastructure underneath the ground put in, because obviously that goes in before the sidewalks. But things are moving along, doing well.
Get that pothole addressed again.
Yeah, there's a couple soft spots in there.
Semi wheels locked up on the
Yeah, there's some soft spots where they expanded. You know, they had to cut out the curb a little bit and expand that over just to get the lane width for traffic. So yeah, they're going to fight that for the whole project, but I'll mention it to the contractor tomorrow, Steve.
What's the rate of pour on that? I mean, what are they going to cover per day?
I don't know. I really don't know what to expect, and I haven't asked. I mean, they've got forms, as you can see, all the way to Jefferson. And I anticipate by the end of the week, you'll see a lot of concrete down through there. I really do.
He can get that information at the meeting. We can get that to him, but yeah,
It'll move along fast.
Yeah, it's all set up. It looks like it's the grade. This is the last part of, the last part of the part on the north side of phase one. Would be lane.
How much elevation difference is that from new to old?
There's not a lot, because obviously we intended to go back with some sidewalk up against the building or leave a section of that. So the elevation, the curb line won't change a lot. The crown of the road will be a little flatter with the concrete versus the asphalt, I believe. But in general, I mean, we're 20 to 24 inches deep that we excavate, and then they scarify that bottom, recompact it, and they got into that spongy stuff over there.
With some of the flooding we've had with heavy rain there in Jefferson, will this address some of
The boxes ought to help. The new inlets should help. I'll tell you, we're still tying into old infrastructure, Steve. So you're putting in 3 inlets to grab water, all right, and they are bigger than what was there, but you're still choking that down into old infrastructure off the square. So, keep in mind, it should handle the water better, but you still have a big rain and a consistent rain.
The pipes they were using in my first thought was wondered if those are any bigger or if they're about the same size.
They actually added an inlet in the middle of the square. If you noticed in South Street, we were putting it in today, and to save some cost, rather than being all concrete pipe, you see it's more of a corrugated type pipe, plastic. So, but yeah, I think we'll see some changes, over the next few days or the next week or so that will, because once they start putting in the underground electric, you'll start seeing them get ready for sidewalk and curbing, and it'll go together pretty quickly. Think about it. If they're on pace to be done that second week in August, it's going to come together pretty quick. We're only a month out, 4 weeks out of it. So, and they'll continue to as we get there with the businesses, they'll continue to go and try and talk to those businesses and schedule those things the best we can. I think the intent there is they'll leave that last panel of sidewalk in as long as they can up against the building for people the pedestrians to get to buildings, and tear everything else out and rebuild back up to it and start pulling those out at the very last thing they do and coordinate that with the businesses. So
I appreciate the extra communicating by Facebook and in person.
Yes.
And Doug brought up earlier.
And I do have to send a shout out to Tim. Tim has volunteered to do those little podcasts or whatever we call them, and we go out and spend maybe 30 minutes on the project and walk it or an hour, and I think it gives people an idea of kind of what is transitioning down through there.
Well, and it helps the council members too when they get phone calls from people. It puts us all on the same page. Thank you.
You betcha. I usually share them when Tim uploads them. I share them. I don't know if I did because I was gone. I think it didn't get, I don't think Tim put it out there till Monday. So I'll go out and push that one a little bit harder too.
Thank you. Case, anything?
Nope.
Matt? Roxanne?
To add insult to injury, the EPA is also out digging yards and each government is that. So now there's a bunch of dump trucks with their backhoes out and about too, so, that's been a little bit of a confusion on those also. So just so if anybody asks or does,
Probably our
In my
fault.
block.
we
City
are not
council's
paying
fault.
for it, it's the federal government, yes. That we scheduled it on we did not have anything to do with that.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll make a motion to adjourn today's meeting.
I'll second.
Motion made to adjourn, seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.